Today we are going to see free fall. Take a small stone. Hold it in your hand. Which forces are acting on the stone? Now release the stone. What do you observe? What are the forces acting on the stone after you release it? Earth's gravitational force and applied force by your hand. These two forces are acting on the stone. As soon as we release the stone, it falls down due to the Earth's gravitational force. The force of gravity due to the Earth acts on each and every object. When the stone was held in the hand, even at that time, the stone was experiencing this force, Earth's gravitational force, F1, and applied force, F2. F1 is equal to F2. Once we release the stone from our hands, the only force that acts on it is the gravitational force of the earth, and the stone falls down under its influence. The released stone is in a free fall. Whenever an object moves under the influence of the force of gravity alone, it is said to be falling freely. Thus, the released stone is in a free fall. In free fall, the initial velocity of the object is 0 and goes on increasing due to the acceleration due to gravity of the earth. During free fall, the frictional force due to air opposes the motion of the object, and buoyant force also acts on the object. Thus, true free fall is possible only in vacuum. For freely falling object, the velocity on reaching the earth and the time taken for it can be calculated by using Newton's equations of motions. For free fall, the initial velocity u is equal to 0 and the acceleration a is equal to g. Thus, we can write the equations as: first, v is equal to gt, second, s is equal to half of gt square, and third is equal to 2gs, where v is equal to final velocity, g is equal to acceleration, t is equal to time, s is equal to distance covered. While studying the motion of an object thrown vertically upwards, g is taken to be negative. The magnitude of g is same, but the velocity of the object decreases because of this negative acceleration. The moon and artificial satellites are moving only under the influence of the gravitational field of the earth. Thus, they are in free fall. Do you know? The value of g is the same for all objects at a given place on the earth. Thus, any two objects, irrespective of their masses or any other properties, when dropped from the same height and falling freely, will reach the earth at the same time. Galileo is said to have performed an experiment around 1590 in the Italian city of Pisa. He dropped two spheres of different masses from the leaning tower of Pisa to demonstrate that both spheres reached at the ground at the same time. When we drop a feather and a heavy stone at the same time from a height, they do not reach the earth at the same time. The feather experiences a buoyant force and a frictional force due to air, and therefore floats and reaches the ground slowly, later than the heavy stone. The buoyant and frictional forces on the stone are much less than the weight of the stone and does not affect the speed of the stone much. Recently, scientists performed this experiment in vacuum and showed that the feather and stone indeed reach the earth at the same time. बघा, आपल्याला चित्रात दिसतंय तो मुलगा एक त्याच्या हातात एक पीस आहे आणि दगड आहे. द फिदर एक्सपिरियन्सेस अ फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स ड्यू टू एअर अँड बियॉन्ड फोर्स ड्यू टू विच इट फ्लोट्स अँड रिचेस द ग्राउंड स्लोली. बघा, दगड आधी पडला आणि नंतर पीस पडलेला आहे. म्हणून जर आपल्याला फ्री फॉल अनुभवायचं असेल तर आपल्याला ते इन व्हॅक्यूम चेंबरमध्ये करावं लागेल. बघा, व्हॅक्यूम चेंबरमध्ये दगड आणि पीस फिदर हे एकाच वेळेला खाली पडतायत. Solved example set 4. First example, an iron ball of mass 3 kg is released from a height of 125 meter and falls freely to the ground. Assuming that the value of g is 10 meter per second square. Calculate first time taken by the ball to reach the ground, velocity of the ball on reaching the ground, the height of the ball at half the time it takes to reach the ground. M is equal to 3 kg, G is equal to 10 meter per second square, S is equal to 125 meter. Answer given. M is equal to 3 kg. S is equal to 125 meter. U is equal to 0. A is equal to G is equal to 10 meter per second square. What we have to find? T first. Newton's second equation of motion. For calculating T, we use Newton's second equation of motion. S is equal to ut plus half of at square, which is equal to S half of gt square, because u is 0 and a is equal to g. Therefore, we get S is equal to half of gt square. 125 is equal to half into 10 into t square. Therefore, t square is equal to 125 upon 5. T square is equal to 25. T is equal to 5 seconds. The ball will reach the ground in 5 seconds. Now calculate the second velocity of the ball on reaching the ground. V is equal to, we have to find V. To find V, we use Newton's first equation of motion, which is V is equal to u plus at. V is equal to gt, because u is equal to 0. V is equal to 10 into 5. V is equal to 50 meter per second. The velocity of the ball in reaching the ground is 50 meter per second. Now height of the ball at half the time it takes to reach the ground. To calculate half time of the total time taken, T is equal to 5 upon 2. T is equal to 2.5 seconds. Suppose the distance covered in this time is S. S is equal to ut plus half of at square. Newton's second equation. S is equal to half of gt square. S is equal to half of g is 10, t 2.5, 2.5 bracket square. We get 31.25 meter. The height of the ball at half time is equal to 125 minus 31.25, which is equal to 93.75 meter. The height of the ball at half time is equal to 93.75 meters. Now, example second. A tennis ball is thrown up and reaches a height of 4.05 meter before coming down. What was its initial velocity? How much total time will it take to come down? Here we have to take g is equal to 10 meter per second square. Given V is equal to 0. S is equal to 4.05 meter. A is equal to minus G is equal to minus 10 meter per second square. According to Newton's third equation of motion, V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. 0 is equal to U square plus 2 into minus 10 into 4.05. U square is equal to 81. U is equal to 9 meter per second. The initial velocity of the ball is equal to 9 meter per second. Suppose the ball comes down in t seconds. U is equal to 0 meter per second. Now the initial velocity of the ball is 0. U is equal to 0. Distance travelled by the ball on reaching the ground is equal to 4.05 meter. As the velocity and acceleration are in the same direction, A is equal to G is equal to 10 meter per second. According to Newton's second equation of motion, S is equal to ut plus half of at square. 4.05 is equal to 0 into t plus half of 10 into t square. T square is equal to 4.05 upon 5. T is equal to 0.9 second. The ball will take 0.9 second to reach the ground. The ball will take 0.9 second to reach the ground. It will take the same time to go up. Thus the total time taken is equal to 2 into 0.9 is equal to 1.8 second. The total time taken by the ball is 1.8 second.
काय आवाज करताय?
काय माहिती खरा. Gravitational potential energy. We have studied potential energy in last standard. The energy stored in an object because of its position or state is called potential energy. This energy is relative and increases as we go to greater heights from the surface of the earth. We had assumed that the potential energy of an object of mass m at a height h from the ground is mgh, and on the ground it is 0. And on the ground it is 0. When h is small compared to the radius r of the earth, we can assume g to be constant and can use the above formula mgh. But for large values of h, the value of g decreases with increase in h. For an object at gravitational potential energy of the project is equal to mgh. For an object at infinite distance from the earth, the value of g is 0 and earth's gravitational force does not act on the object. So it is more appropriate to assume that value of potential energy to be 0 there. Thus, for smaller distances, that is heights, the potential energy is less than 0, that it is negative. When an object is at height h from the surface of the earth, its potential energy is negative G, capital M, M upon R plus H. Here M and R are Earth's mass and radius respectively. Escape velocity. We have seen When a ball is thrown upwards, its velocity decreases because of the gravitation of the earth. The velocity becomes zero after reaching a certain height, and after that the stone starts falling down. Its maximum height depends on its initial velocity according to Newton's third equation of motion is v square is equal to u square plus 2as, where v is equal to the final velocity of the ball is equal to 0, a is equal to u is equal to initial velocity, a is equal to acceleration, s is equal to distance covered. That is maximum height of the ball. 0 is equal to u square plus 2 into minus g into s. Therefore, maximum height of the ball is equal to s is equal to minus u square upon 2g. Higher the initial velocity, the larger is the height reached by the ball. आपण जितक्या जोरात बॉलवर फेकू तितक्या उंचीपर्यंत तो जातो आणि तिथून त्याच्यानंतर तो खाली येतो. The ball will oppose the gravity of the earth more and larger will be the height to which it can reach. We have seen above that the value of g keeps decreasing as we go higher above the surface of the earth. Thus, the force pulling the ball downward decreases as the ball goes up. If we keep increasing the initial velocity of the ball, the ball is able to overcome the downward pull by the earth and can escape the earth forever and will not fall back on the earth. This velocity is called escape velocity. We can determine its value by using the law of conservation of energy as follows. An object going vertically upwards from the surface of the earth having an initial velocity equal to escape velocity escapes the gravitational force of the earth. The force for an object of mass m, Fg is inversely proportional to r square. The gravitational force becomes zero only at infinite distance from the earth. The object to be free from the gravity of the earth. Object at the surface of the earth, kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 mv square ESC. Escape potential energy is equal to minus G capital M upon R. Total energy is equal to E1 is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. That is equal to 1/2 of mv square ESC minus GMM upon R. Now object at an infinite distance from the earth. Kinetic energy is equal to 0. Potential energy is equal to minus GMM upon infinite is equal to 0. Therefore, total energy is equal to E2 is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy, which is equal to 0. From the principle of conservation of energy, E1 plus E2 is equal to half of mv square ESC minus gmm upon r is equal to 0. Therefore, V square ESC is equal to 2 gm upon r. VSC is equal to under root of 2 gm upon r. Taking square root on both sides, we get under root 2 gm upon r, which is equal to under root of 2 gm upon r into r upon r. Multiplying and dividing by r, we get under root of 2 into gm upon r square into r. gm upon r square is equal to g. आपल्याला माहिती g ची व्हॅल्यू काय gm upon r square. Therefore, VSC is equal to under root of 2gr. Putting the values of g and r, g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, r is equal to 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 into meter. VSC is equal to under root of 2 into 9.8 into 6.4 into 10 raised to 6, which is equal to 11,200 meter per second. Velocity, escape velocity is equal to 11.2 kilometer per second. The spacecrafts which are sent on the moon or other planets have to have an initial velocity larger than escape velocity so that they can overcome the Earth's gravitational attraction and can travel to these objects. Do you know weightlessness in space? Space travelers as well as objects in the spacecrafts appear to be floating. Do you know why does this happen? Though the spacecraft is at a height from the surface of the Earth, the value of g there is not 0. In the space station, the value of g is only 11% less than its value on the surface of the Earth. Thus, the height of spacecraft is not the reason for their weightlessness. Their weightlessness is caused by their being in the state of free fall. Though the spacecraft is not falling on the Earth because of its velocity along the orbit, the only force acting on it is the gravitational force of the Earth, and therefore it is in a free fall. As the velocity of free fall does not depend on the properties of an object, the velocity of free fall is the same for the spacecraft, the travelers and the objects in the craft. Thus, if a traveler releases an object from her hand, it will remain stationary with respect to her and will appear to be weightless. बघा आपल्याला चित्रात दिसतंय weightlessness in space. Solved example. Calculate the escape velocity on the surface of the moon given the mass and radius of the moon to be 7.34 into 10 raised to 22 kilogram and 1.74 into 10 raised to 6 meter respectively. Answer is given. G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to 11 Newton meter square upon kg square. M is equal to 7.34 into 10 raised to 22 kilogram and radius of the moon is equal to 1.74 into 10 raised to 6 meter. Now we have to find the escape velocity. VSESC is equal to formula under root 2 gm upon r. 2 into under root 2 into 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 into 7.34 into 10 raised to 22 upon 1.74 into 10 raised to 6. Calculating, we get 2372.2 meter per second, which is equal to 2.372 kilometer per second. The escape velocity on the moon is 2.372 kilometer per second.